And we're back. Hey, it's Whiskey Ace with my friend Doyle.
Hey guys,
Um, I'm gonna try the benchmark foolproof for the first time. It was $22.99, so I had to pick this up. It's a Buffalo Trace product under a different brand. Um, if there's a way to silence your notification, that might be helpful.
okay, I'll have to well, let me do that. I will certainly do that. Let me just go
So
to air.
this whiskey is 125 proof, 62.5 alcohol by volume.
Whoa, that's a strong one.
62 and a half, yeah, percent.
That's a 124 proof. Hits hard. How's it smell? Does it
Got a
smell
big
oaky? Does it
it
smell
has a,
oaky?
there's a little bit of oak. It's a big aroma of like vanilla, kind of
Cool.
big vanilla with some like classic bourbon notes. So, I mean, I haven't been drinking a lot of whiskey in a while. That's why I haven't done these videos. But
Well, you're the whiskey ace. You should know about
so
some whiskey.
I want to see if it says I'm live
It
somehow.
sure does. I got the live link. I sent it to a
Oh, it
friend
does
so
say it.
far.
Benchmark foolproof fresh crack with friends. Cool. All right, good. We'll work. I haven't done this in a while, so this should be fun for my limited audience. Honestly, this smells really great. I mean,
Boy, I wish I was having a glass. I went to a wine bar tonight and had a great time with a French gathering, and we drank some pretty good wine.
that
Broke
sounds
open, broke open some Italian wines and African wines and some French Bordeaux.
that was tonight.
hmm The Bordeaux was by far the best. It had the least tartness to it, least acidic and like least tannins in it.
Do you buy by the glass or how does it work?
Well, some people bought a bottle and shared it with everybody, and other people just bought. When we first got in there, there was like four of us, and we bought glasses. It ended up about 10 of us by the end of the night, and some showed up an hour late. But it was so much fun, and there was only one guy there that couldn't speak very good French, but he was learning, and we really helped him learn a lot of stuff. And it's such a good, it's like a French get together for people that want to learn French or just like speaking the French language at all. And they've got a Facebook channel. I don't really know the name of it, honestly.
That sounds fun. What part of town is that in?
It was downtown Mobile on St. Francis, so it's north of the main stretch on Dolphin, and
So Doyle is a friend of mine that
there's a
lives
little
in
bar by itself near the
friend.
Square Park.
So
Yeah,
Doyle's
I
a
live in Alabama in
friend of
Mobile.
mine that lives in Southern Alabama, and he's an artist. So,
Well, so is Johnny. We're both artists.
well,
Johnny's you're a musician, Johnny. Admit it. That's an artist.
if anyone's like interested in pottery, we can drop his link in the chat later.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll drop a link in the. I don't know how to
So
do
I
that.
went ahead and took a little sip of this, and
What's it like? Does it kick?
it would kick someone that's not used to strong whiskeys, but
Yeah, 62% ought to be pretty strong.
it's a real concentrated sweet flavor that hits you right away, and then when you swallow, there's some like peppery notes,
Yeah.
but that concentrated sweetness
Is it hard to swallow or is it real easy? Go down easy.
it's really good for $22.
Wow, that's a bargain for that much alcohol too.
And then there's some heat like building in the back of my throat, but
How many years did you say it was?
it doesn't have a statement, but it does taste younger.
What's the limit on what's the minimum you can put it in the barrel?
I don't know what Well, I don't know what the like speculation on these bottles are, but I'm gonna guess it's probably.
You want me to look it up?
It's probably at least like 3 years. It could be like 3 to 5. It could be a mixture. It might be a batch bourbon. Yeah, you can look it up if you want.
Okay, so benchmark foolproof. I'll look it up.
Are you gonna use AI to get a figure?
No. I'm gonna go to Google search and do benchmark.
It's gonna have to be a. It's not gonna know for. They don't give you a statement. I don't think so.
See what it says.
It's saying it's
4 years. It says approximately 4 years. That's a standard.
the AI is saying some reviewers have suggested it is not just a 2-year-old. Yeah, I think it's a little more than 2. That's why I said 3 might be batched.
Google's given an AI. Well, it's an AI overview again. Yeah, for Google. Buffalo Trace Distillery.
I mean, I'm gonna guess between 2 and 4 years. It's not very old, that's for sure. But
And that says that's the alcoholic content before it went into the barrel, so it might not actually have that content.
the nose on it, the smell of it is really good. The aroma.
I'm really a Scotch man. Problem with bourbon is when I was younger, I drank about half a bottle of Jack Daniels in like 5 minutes. A fifth. I drank half of a fifth in like 5 minutes when I was 15. And it made me puke so many times and I felt so sick that bourbon just doesn't sit well with me.
Well, yeah, Jack is it's an American Tennessee whiskey, but it's very similar.
I didn't know anything about alcohol at the time or how much you had to drink to get a buzz at all. I was just a kid and I'd bought it on the airplane on the trip to France because you could buy it in the airplane at any age because there's no laws of when you're in the air. And like in the airport in Atlanta, I wouldn't have been able to buy it. But I bought it on the airplane because back then that was like in the night, that was in 94. And on the airplane, you could buy whiskey in the airplane. They had the bottles on the freaking airplane.
Yeah, the concentrated sweetness is really nice. There's some of that heat on the back end is not great, but I mean it's a strong whiskey, so you're gonna
it leaves a heat in your mouth, kind of heat in your throat.
A little bit, but yeah, that like initial flavor is so strong that it's, you could easily mix this with whatever. If you're making a cocktail or putting water in it, it would take away some of that heat.
My standard over and over drink is J&B Scotch, but that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've drank a lot of good Scotch. I mean, it's not.
How does it compare to a good Scotch?
It's a higher proof, so there's a stronger flavor. Scotch is malted barley, and that so it has this is predominant corn, so it's like a sweeter profile than Scotch is good, but like I
like sweet. I like sweet.
Yeah, you would probably appreciate it. It's just I think bourbon is a little misunderstood by like the general populace.
Yeah. I certainly do misunderstand it. I'm enjoying learning about it on your site.
Even like people that are really into Scotch, like I think there's some and I've probably talked about this on my channel before, but there's like a little bit of misconception about like bourbons all being the same.
Rick, I'm in a live conversation. Can you please be quiet?
Well, yeah, there's like a little misconception about how like all the bourbons taste like are very similar, and then how Scotches are so drastically different. And I would say that the bourbon landscape has so many different nuances and yeast strains and different mash bills that it's infinitely just as complex as Scotch. It's just they have different rules, with the barreling and all that stuff. But
Yeah, Scotch is usually aged a lot longer.
can be. You get bourbons that are like 20 years old nowadays. It's not commonplace though.
I hear that if you age it on a ship, it's better. It ages quicker.
There's a bourbon called what's it called? It's like James or something. Yeah, there's one that they put. It's called Oceans, and they do age it on a ship, and so it's rapidly moving. The
The
movement.
way
Of the ship.
it's stirring, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually a distillery, a brandy distillery in Kentucky that uses like really loud music, like Metallica, to help age the brandy.
Wow, that's weird.
They send. Yeah, it is weird. They send sound through the like corridor where it's being aged.
I'd play Vivaldi over and over at full length, full volume.
Mm-hmm.
Play the Four Seasons over and over at full volume into the whiskey. Might do something cool. I hear that if you freeze water with different music, it does things to the water, and if you put like fruit, that does things to the ice crystals where they take different shapes. And if you put like a fruit in or a seed, if you put a seed of a plant in the water, when you freeze it, it'll take the form of, say, the leaves off the tree that's from the seed, or the berry that the seed is from, like the fruit or the flowers of the tree will be in the ice of the water. It's really weird, and they can't figure out why it does that. I have a book on it.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating topic, actually.
And I suppose whiskey has water in it, so it must have some sort of similar effect that can do something to it.
Well, I think just the sound vibration or the water movement on the ship, but yeah, like even the whiskey that sits still in a rick house, the flavors are different depending on like how high they are in the rick house.
Oh, that's cool.
And then just like little nuances in the oak also changes the flavor. Like it's really kind of fascinating if you get into it. But
yeah, what you need is like a bunch of different bottles opened and little sips of each to test them out and see what's like. Compare.
Or go to a distillery and try, like, if they were doing a presentation that like Wild Turkey is good about saying like what part of the rick house the whiskey is from. So you could, they're not the only one that does that, but yeah, it's interesting.
You've inspired me to buy a bottle of bourbon.
In that case, so what, do they still have ABC stores down there or what?
Yeah, they do, but it's high priced in Mobile. But what would you think is the one with the least heat in that, for like under $80, least heat?
I mean, there's a lot of them. Like you could just get Buffalo Trace, regular Buffalo Trace.
It's smooth.
It's good. Yeah. That's who I'm assuming this is probably a similar. I don't know if it's the same mash bill, but
I like Glenlivet a lot, Scotch, because to me it's like really easy for me to drink it.
Yeah, that stuff's good. Pretty, like, it's not too intrusive on the palate.
Jack Daniels is a no way kind of drink for me. It etched it into my mind. And so is pretty much Wild Turkey's tastes the same to me.
Yeah, I think they're both good brands. Like I have some cask strength Jack Daniels. It's really amazing. A lot of the people that watch this channel are into that stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I could go back to trying a bottle of Jack and seeing what it does to me now, because it's been 40 years or
If you could
30 years.
if you could find like the 10-year-old or something like that, that'd be nice. But
The 10-year-old Jack.
yeah. But what I was if I
Is
was
it
you,
coming at 250 though? Because I don't know if I want to spend that much.
I don't know. But if I was you, I would give me a call when you're at the stores, and I can see the selection and give you a better decision on what to get.
I'll try to remember that.
Because if I just name off a bunch of whiskeys, like they might not have them. But
I'm gonna go with Buffalo Trace first and get a little bottle of that. See what it's like.
I would get that, but there could be something else, like Four Roses. Be
Pretty
nice.
good.
Yeah, no, that would be nice.
What's the value on a Buffalo Trace fifth?
It should ABC should sell it for like $27 or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty low.
Maybe 35, something like that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that much more than that. At
I love
ABC.
buying whiskey in France because it's like $15 a bottle usually.
Oh,
Some bottles are like 12 euros and they come from Scotland and Ireland and stuff like that. Good stuff. It's much cheaper than here because there's a big tax when they ship it over. They love to tax alcohol in America. Over there, it's like, oh no, don't tax the alcohol. We love that. They don't tax alcohol in Ireland basically at all, really. It's cheapo. You got a lot of bars you can get $1 beer pretty much.
this is nice for how cheap it is, but like I would like someone that can't afford the higher end whiskey, I would say they should pick this up because they get to see what like a higher ABV bourbon is like. But I kind of get that young whiskey note a little bit. It's kind of revealing itself.
Can you really taste the corn in it?
I mean, that's just a predominant feature of like American bourbon is like that sweeter.
Yeah.
You don't really taste the corn necessarily, but it's sweeter.
Yeah.
Than barley, I would say. I mean, not to say like
If you
Scotch.
drink Glenlivet, you can really taste the oak in it, and you can really taste the barrel.
Well, those are probably like a 12-year-old or something like that.
Yeah, they're 12 and 14 year.
But
I guess that's why.
there's definitely bourbons where you can taste the oak. A lot of people think they're over oaked. If they're too old or whatever, if they're aged long, people say they're over oaked. A lot of those like 15-year-old bourbons, and not Pappy though. But
I'd probably like a 10-year-old bourbon more than something that's 4-year-old because I tend to like the barrel flavor.
so if you can spend $80, get Russell's single barrel, not the 10-year. Get the Russell's single barrel.
I might have to go to New Orleans to get that because, like in Alabama, they got a shitty selection.
There is one store in Montgomery that has amazing selection, but I don't know if it's still there.
New Orleans is closer.
That's true.
By an hour or half an hour.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Plus, you can take a train to New Orleans and take the train back drunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like $16 or $20, $25 round trip on the train.
Is it Amtrak?
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's Amtrak. It's like
cheap?
It's like a 3-hour and 15-minute train.
Wow.
A little longer than the drive, but it's got a restaurant car and all that.
No, but that would be kind of nice if it's only $20.
I want to go there to get a case of pastis because I will drink pastis like crazy, but not overdo it when I drink it. And it's really good for hot weather. In south of France, they drink a lot of pastis. It tastes kind of like it really tastes like licorice.
Is that's a liqueur?
I don't think it's called a liqueur really. It's the color of bourbon when you pour it in the glass, traditionally you add water to it. Only the real alcoholics really drink it straight. But
It's similar to like absinthe.
it tastes just like absinthe, but it's not absinthe. It's not made from wormwood.
Yeah.
It's made from anise.
Okay. It's probably like it's kind of like ouzo and absinthe then.
Yeah, it's like ouzo, but it's not absinthe. It's not at all wormwood.
Yeah, I those flavors are nice. I'm gonna actually get a beer to kind of chase this with.
What kind of beer are you getting?
I'll tell you in a second.
After this is over, I'm going to run up to the Circle K and get my roommate a drink and myself a drink. We're going to get some beer. I'm staying up late tonight. Got some work in the kiln studio to do. I have an umbrella holder to glaze. I'm excited about using a new glaze. It's a gold luster I've never used. I'll splash some of it around the top of it.
I can't remember if I did it yet.
While you're busy, I'm going to post an image file of some of the pottery I do.
I can't remember if I did a video about this old Fitzgerald bottle and bond 7-year yet. I know I might have filmed something.
I presented a picture. I'm not sure how it shows up on the live feed.
So,
do you see it?
Allagash White from Maine.
Oh, that sounds good. A white.
Yeah, we used to drink this in Pennsylvania a bit, and I've been to the brewery, but in Maine. But
it's got a real citrusy flavor.
I don't usually drink wheat beer anymore, but no, not really. It's a wheat beer.
I love wheat beer. I like a Hoegaarden.
Yeah, you would like this.
Yeah, I love a wheat beer.
There's a little bit of that citrus.
Blue Moons are good too.
It's similar to those, just more quality, like better quality brewery. Yeah, they're a famous brewery actually. I got that. I picked up I picked up Crooked Stave sleigh bells as well. It's another
Crooked Stave sleigh bells. That's a beer. Does it taste like Christmas beer?
Yeah, it's a holiday ale. I haven't tried it yet.
I don't know if I could do a holiday ale with all those weird spices.
I just kind of wanted something, a couple beers.
That's cinnamon in it. I don't want cinnamon in my beer and sugar and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's cinnamon and nutmeg or cardamom and nutmeg.
Yeah. I don't know. No way could I drink that. They give me a headache.
Yeah, but it's something I'll have in the fridge for a few weeks. I'm not going to be drinking it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. Won't guzzle them down. Or just drink one.
Same thing with this Allagash. I mean, if I'm having one tonight, I'll probably forget about it for a week. Yeah, if you like Hoegaarden, you'd love this.
Yeah, I love a Hoegaarden kind of beer I get at a bar.
I think it's
in Mobile. They rarely carry Hoegaarden. In Europe,
style, essentially.
In Europe, it's like at every bar. They have it on tap in Europe.
Yeah, I remember drinking a white ale when I was in Amsterdam the first time, and it had this like weird sort of funk to it.
I had an excellent American Guinness draft yesterday at the Irish pub in Mobile. Lucky's Irish Pub. I don't know if you remember it. It's on airport across from Montlamar, and they've got a really Patches over there on South. What is that? University.
Oh, like Lucky's is the place that is on airport. Okay. On
airport, right next to Los Rancheros and all that.
Yeah, I remember that place. I thought it was called Pat. Don't they have dollar bills everywhere?
Yeah, they got hundreds of them all over the wall.
How long has it been called Lucky's?
I think like 15 years now. They used to be Patches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to the original Patches then.
Yeah. I don't prefer that bar because it's so dark inside. I don't like it when it's too dark in the bar. It's just like can't see.
Do they keep all
And
the dollars, or they take them down?
now they serve food in there and you can't smoke. And I'm a smoker and I like to drink and smoke. And so I usually go to the tinderbox to drink and smoke a cigar while I drink.
Is
If
that
I'm going to go to a bar.
Is that at Bel Air Mall?
Tinderbox is on the Beltline on the west side, south of Airport, right before Cottage Hill. But anyway, Lucky's had these. We got this order of sweet potato fries, and they were the best sweet potato fries I've ever had. They're waffle cut, just like Chick-fil-A, and they were really crispy on the outside and real soft on the inside, and not gooey, you know. And it was just the best waffle cut sweet potato fries I've ever had. And they weren't like really big waffle cut fries. Like they used little sweet potatoes, and it was obvious they cut them there at the bar. It wasn't like bought frozen or something.
It looks like Doyle added some images of some of his pottery, so I'm going to see what happens if we add this to the stream for a second.
Yeah.
You want to talk about those pieces?
That was done in about 2004 when I was at University of South Alabama.
I really like the one on the left that's sort of like
bulbous.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it's supposed to be like a male-female kind of diptych. You know, a duo of a male-female. So the female's on the left, of course, and the male's on the right.
So what's going on with it looks like there's like two tones of glaze.
Yeah, it's just a dipped glaze. It's an iron red with a white glaze on top of the iron red, and it makes that color.
Kind of black almost, or brown.
Yeah, and the male form kind of took like a golden hue type, a little bit on the lid.
Yeah,
you can't really see it in the picture very well. But
how did you add that? You just added these, and then you had this other one. I think I remember seeing this one in its full glory, and this photo is not really doing it justice.
Yeah, the photo's kind of cropped off the bottom there.
I thought
that's like a Gothic cathedral piece that's got a lot of energy to it that I made. I made that here at my home in I think I made that in like 2011. No, I was a stagehand then. I probably did it in 2014.
So maybe this isn't the one that I saw then.
This particular piece, we tried to transport it to my sister's, and in the airport, my brother set it down next to him at the checkout counter, and somebody talking on their phone, walking along with their suitcase, ran into it, and it busted all over the floor.
Didn't you have another piece like earlier 2000s that was sort of similar that had like a bigger bottom to it?
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. That one I won Best of Show and Student Award at a student show and got $500. And then I topped my teacher at the Tricentennial exhibition that was in town. And I got third place for $300. And then I showed it one more time that year at the 301 space downtown. And they gave me honorable mention and kept it for extended stay with 3 other items they kept for extended stay. And it stayed there for a year on display.
I'll show that, but that's not the one I was thinking of. Maybe I saw the one that's currently displayed before it got glazed.
Currently displayed before it got glazed? What are you talking about?
Maybe the one that's on the screen I saw before it got glazed.
You did? In college? I don't have a picture of that one unglazed. You want to see some unglazed stuff?
I remember seeing
there's that one that's I just posted you a photo of 3 unglazed pieces that I made in 3 days, each one a separate day.
Okay, I'm gonna show the one you
So
won the
the photo
award.
we're looking at, I made that in one day,
I'm gonna
and
show the one that.
it's about 37 inches.
Here's the one that you got the award for.
Yeah, that one I did in 2003. I guess that's when the tricentennial was.
So is the
I
base
think,
like about 3 feet wide, or what do you think?
or maybe it was in 2002. That base is about 3.5 feet wide, and it's about, I don't know, 4.5 feet tall, 5 feet tall. It's about a little bit taller than it is wide. It's pretty wide. I mean, it's about 4 foot wide.
So I
We
guess
had to put it in the kiln. It wouldn't fit in the kiln unless we put it diagonally across the square.
is this
And the vase itself went from the bottom to the top of the kiln, and it's I fired it at South Alabama.
now
It's
I
got the
got
same red iron glaze on the lip of it, and on the surface of everything. I put the red iron glaze on all the coils, then sponged it off the surface, and then put rutile stain on top of the exposed area that I sponged. And
so did you create the form of the vase and then add the exterior coils after the fact, or
well, no, I started with that bottom piece, and I just kind of freehanded it. I didn't really know what I was making until I got halfway done with the bottom piece. I was just kind of going with it. And if you look at the very bottom, it looks like an S shape kind of, but we're looking at it sideways or whatever. And it's just a slight S.
it kind of
And
gives me like
I was like, I'm
ancient.
going to build the base to a big piece on this side, on this S. And
It
then I
kind of looks
came
like
up.
it kind of looks like a ship or like a nuclear
That's
bomb
right. And so
entering
we
like
came
a.
over here to Mobile on ships, and it was perfect for the tricentennial show. And I titled it Centuries for the tricentennial show. And it did really well. And so that S I built up halfway, and I said, oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to flare this out and then kind of make it like a ship and put a tall vase in the center of it, like it's carrying the vase.
So is the vase formed before you put the exterior coils, or the coils forming
No, I
the vase?
built it up from that S from bottom to top all the way till that was done. And then once that was completed, I made an Egyptian kind of urn, Egyptian kind of wine amphora, a little bit altered from what's, traditional, kind of a Greek form a little bit with that wide lip at the top. The reason they made in the old days, you couldn't make any old pottery you wanted, or you could be, you know, drawn and quartered, or whatever they would do to you, put you in jail, because they wanted everything to fit on a ship to ship it around the Mediterranean to other colonies with wine in it. And they would ship wine in ceramic forms. They keep it and before they did ceramic forms, they also kept it in leather flasks, but they would pour it from the big amphora into a leather flask. And the really wide lip at the top of the amphora is so that it spills out in one direction and doesn't go down the side of the piece when you stand it back up. So, and they would reuse those amphoras. They would reuse them until they broke. And that's why we don't find many of them, because they used that thing until it broke. It was difficult to make it because of the fire you had to create to get to high enough temperature to make it strong. It was a difficult process, and only, it took a lot of training to be able to make one. And they would make them on a wheel, but this, I built it out of coils.
Yeah, I kind of get some like ancient sort of Mayan or Inca vibe.
Yeah, it's got like an Inca effect, and it's got that kind of reminds me of the indigenous tribes that were here.
There's also like a face if you look at the bottom piece in the very middle.
I can't zoom in that size. Let me put me on full screen.
It's big on my screen. Yeah, in the
Yeah,
middle.
you can in the vase. I purposefully put that kind of a Mayan face in the side of the vase as I was building it. It's presentable on that side. That's the front of it.
So on the very lower base, the part looks like an envelope. There's in the middle. There's like two eyes and like almost like a dog.
Yeah, that's the more repeated face stuff in the centerpiece. That's the middle of the front of it.
So to get a little more metaphoric, I'm almost getting like a nuclear missile like landing on a ship as well. By the way,
Cool. That's kind of weird. Out there. That's why Johnny's an artist, I suppose. I'm sad about the little crack at the bottom, but that happened in the firing. It's solid. It didn't break like that.
and no one can see that on the stream. All right, let's look at these other pieces you were talking about.
All right.
Okay, I think I remember seeing these like at your studio or something.
So there's the cathedral one in the center. I was trying to make like flying buttresses, give that effect. The one on the right, that big round one, it was very interesting because if you put your ear about 2 inches over the mouth of it, you could hear trucks like 10 miles away. Like like when a truck hits the brake, when the truck hits its exhaust brake, you would hear it in the vase and go, boo. And if you put it in a large building or had the air conditioning running, you could hear the low frequency vibrations of the air conditioner in the top of the vase. So I titled that one Ohm Jar, but these other two, I didn't title them. And, they're just like, the one on the left is like a religious one. You can see there's actually 12 openings and there's actually 12 handles on it with 12 little round balls with crosses on them. And it's just real fresh, kind of impressionistic work for what I would consider like impressionistic sculpture.
Now, didn't you have some larger base that went to that one in the middle?
No,
or that was just some other. Did you have another piece like?
Now the one in the middle did not have had a hole in the center of the bottom, and it was designed with a little notch in the bottom to where you could put a light bulb inside of it and have the cord go out the side. And my sister, when I displayed it in a show, I put a red light in it, and it was really cool.
And so that one in the center is this one.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty. It's kind of creepy with the glaze, to be honest.
It's pretty intense. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like some kind of gore or something. I don't know.
It looks like a medieval fight, but the Gothic. It's very Gothic. The object was to make it look Gothic and raw. Yeah. I've got a lot more. Let me see if I can.
You should throw up some of your commercial shit, commercial work, just to give some.
Like what would I say? That type of stuff that I would make over and over.
I mean, just to show some context to whoever views this.
Well, here's a look at. This is the kind of stuff I really made a lot of in my life. Let me show you, post a few of them. And like, this is my cup design I make over and over when I sell cups. I sell a lot of cups because usually that's all anybody can really ever afford is a $10 cup or something.
We have someone that joined us named Donner Pass joined.
Oh,
wow.
Cool.
I didn't know he was in here.
You know him?
Yeah, it's a famous whiskey tuber, Donner Pass Whiskey. It was on our stream a minute ago.
Cool.
I don't know if he's in here now or not. He might be.
This is a really handsome cup. Now, my brother owns that cup. That one's porcelain. That's why the colors are so bright and vivid on it. And when you make pottery and you make it with a white clay body, with like a pure white with no impurities in it, the glaze on top of it really pops a lot better than it would with a glaze that has like any iron content.
You talking about these red ones?
No, I'm talking about those red cups. That's just an idea of like the form of cup I make. That's like got finger grooves to hold the cup. Pull up the next picture with the pretty glaze.
Oh yeah, this one.
So that's a porcelain cup, and I think it's actually the same. That purple blue is actually the same glaze that's on that brown Gothic piece. It's just the Gothic piece has impurities, and on this cup, it's layered up a little more. And without the impurities and layering it up, it made it that color. And then on top, I just splashed a little yellow and gave it that effect.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, that's my favorite cup picture I have of any cup I have. Pictures.
It's almost like a stein.
It is. It'll hold about 14 ounces, so enough to put ice in a Coke. Yeah, it's about a 14-ounce cup, 15-ounce cup. You can definitely put a beer in it.
Now, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, that was done in about 2007.
I see like a woman figure, maybe several.
Yeah, it's like bodies moving together and kind of sexual and kind of organic, and it's a sgraffito is the technique I use, but it's not actually sgraffito. It's just sgraffito impression. Once again, I use the dark red. I use an iron red glaze that I dipped the whole piece in, and then I sponged it off the top of it, and then took a sponge and sponged on white on top of the exposed area, so it has white on it. And the iron red really did well in the cracks. So it appears to be sgraffito, but it's not. And the bottom is carved out a little bit, so it's recessed inward about a 1/4 inch, where it's thicker at the bottom.
Yeah, it kind of looks like I mean, I know there's the figure of human, but I almost get it like a Dancing in the Forest vibe with that lower dark section.
Yeah, and it's kind of I don't know, it's real earthy and real vivid, and it's one of my best vases I've done. It's part of my master's portfolio or my retrospective portfolio pictures. I can pull up another one of those. Let me see what else I got in the portfolio. Oh, I'm going to show you the goblets I made. That shows my technical skill on the wheel. And these were made in 3 pieces and then put together. You can't really throw this piece the way it is. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Pull that one up.
Those are cool.
Those are really fancy, and they weigh about a half a pound each. They're really light. What's that?
I could drink a nice wine or an imperial stout that was bourbon barrel aged from one of those.
Yeah. Generally, these are more like put them on the shelf pieces because they're so delicate and so unique. It was so difficult to make those 4. Like, I probably made 12 of them, and only 4 of them I ever really kept and finished because they were so difficult to make, and they were wonky and whatever, and had problems making them. But those were the 4 best I made, and I gave all 4 of them to my sister for Christmas one year. They're at her house, and she took good care of them, and she does not dare drink out of them.
Well, I bet if you made more of those, people in the whiskey world or in beer world would be interested.
Definitely go to doylepottery.com and place a request, and you say, "Hey, I see these guys." These photos are in fact in the gallery on doylepottery.com. If you go to gallery, there's a few different types of photo galleries on the website. You got to go to the right one with all the photos of my work. But They have an apprentice gallery. There's a student gallery, and there's my gallery, and then there's a mini gallery on the homepage. But
This
there's
is
a
like
lot of
this is some serious like Gothic period, like at the round table drinking out of one of those.
yeah, that's some technical skill to make those, to get those to balance and get all the parts to be made right, and it was difficult to make them sit level. See, if you can see the beige one on the right, it's a little crooked at the top. That was what the difficulty was with it. And let me pull up some more from my actual masters. This is, I call it the masters series because I made these photos for. I made these photos I got these photos done by a professional. That's how they have the black background and stuff. Like this was taken with a cloth background, just kind of unprofessional lighting. But these other ones that are with the black background and on a pedestal, unfortunately, the person that made them cropped the bottom off of a lot of them, which really annoyed me. But that's the portfolio I ended up with, and he kind of framed them too close to the edges. But he wasn't used to photographing objects. He was an artistic.
We're talking about the chalices still?
No, pull up the next one. The one you just flashed.
I took the final sip of the benchmark, by the way.
Was it good on the last one?
No. I don't love the like kind of for $23, I mean, if you've never experienced a whiskey that strong, I would say get it, especially if you're going to use it for like an old fashioned. It'd probably be great. But if you can afford the $80 bottle, get the Jack Daniel's barrel proof or something.
Yeah, I think I'll get the Jack Daniel's barrel proof just to try it out and know what
get like Maker's Mark cast strength, or get like Russell's Reserve single barrel, or what. We can talk about it later. My viewers know they all drink. We all drink this crazy stuff. So, but there is a nice sweet note in there.
Yeah.
If someone's on if someone is in their whiskey journey who hasn't experienced something like that, they should check it out. Or
your dad bought one of these just like it he bought it at the Tricentennial show, because that was the other piece I had in the Tricentennial show. It was one like this that was red and a little taller.
So is that like a water pitcher? What is it?
Well, it's called a ewer. It doesn't have a lid, and it's not a pitcher, but it's actually, I think it's called a ewer, and it's usually designed for like dispensing wine.
Oh, okay. Interesting. It kind of aerates.
Yeah, it aerates the wine. You pour it in there when you open a bottle and pour it in there. And that one's just kind of a really whimsical kind of George Orr type of piece, where George Orr did lots of spiral ripple pieces that were really thinly thrown. And that piece is also very thinly thrown, just like George Orr, to get it to do that right.
Is that a famous potter?
Yeah, he's one of the most famous potters in America. George Orr was actually the first expressionist before Picasso.
So there's
They
something
thought for the longest time Picasso was the first abstract expressionist, but this piece is actually abstract expressionism, and it was done originally by George Orr in ceramics, not painting.
So there's something about the form where it almost looks haphazard, or
when they realized that George Orr had made the first abstract expressionism, because he was not recognized until long after his death. They always thought he was a nut. He would on Mardi Gras one year, he put himself on a cross and made his own float and went down the street on a cross.
Where was that?
Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Oh, so wait, a famous
potter
is from the South?
Is actually from Mississippi. The first abstract expressionist is from Ocean Springs.
Interesting.
And they have a museum there called the George Orr Museum. They made a museum after him.
I'm gonna put these whiskeys away, but I'm gonna
Oh, and after Hurricane Katrina, there were many George Orr pieces found on the beach.
Oh, what? That's
from
crazy.
People's houses, yeah.
A lot of those houses got pancaked. I was down there.
Yeah, most of the old houses were pancaked, like 90% of them. All the old houses on the water that were 100 years old. Let me see if I can pull up another one. I don't want to pull up junky ones, but I've got a bunch of junky ones. Everybody does. When you're a potter, experiment is best. So here's another one with the black background.
I'm just getting some
This
water.
is like
that looks cool.
For me, this is a landscape piece. I consider it a landscape piece with it's like land with the sky above it. Two different glazes, and I made that effect on the glaze by spraying it with a glaze sprayer.
We had a viewer that just came in and left. Looks like. Say hello.
Yeah, it's a whiskey show where it's showing pottery. That's my part of it.
I honestly, if I would have kept up with this community, this would probably be kind of interesting for some of the viewers, I would think.
Here's another interesting piece from my sister. Oh, please remove one of the missing pictures. Let me remove a picture or two so that I can add a new one. All right, I'm going to show you a picture that I really like. This is another kind of male, female, or abstract expressionism kind of thing. Like, somebody who suffers and somebody who doesn't, or contrast, or the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing. Pull up the next one.
Okay, I'm gonna see if we get anybody. I just dropped the link to see if we get any randos. I'm gonna see if anyone is brave enough to join the stream. Okay, there we go. Here we go. These, yeah. I like.
I really enjoyed these two pieces, and I love
that glaze where it kind of looks like it's like a waterfall or something.
Yeah, I like looking at these two pieces over and over. I'm real happy with the work here.
Kind of looks like you had a ice cream sundae and it spilled around the side.
They're pitchers without handles. They're just, and the way they're shaped, you can grab them and pour them without. Like you could put wine in one and water in the other and serve dinner with them. Because the way they're shaped, you can easily grab them. The one on the left is real narrow. As you can see, it's narrow. It's not showing it's narrow in the picture, but it's easy to grab around the neck. And the other one is pretty much grabbed with my hand to make it shaped like that. So I just basically squeezed it with my hand to shape it like that, so it's easy to grab. And I don't know. I figured that, came up with that. I have a mental illness, so like for me, my creative ability is way beyond my productivity ethic. I've never had to sit down and say, what am I going to make ever in my life, really. It doesn't take me, more than 2 minutes to think of something. That's why a lot of this has a lot of variety to what it is. It's not all the same thing over and over. that was in college. Like ever since college, I've really done a lot of stuff that's just plates, cups, bowls. Basically, I was trying to do it for a career. And, in Mobile, people want pottery they can use, or they're not even going to pay attention to it, especially something $100 that's just ceramic. They don't want that, unless they're an art collector. There's like 4 art collectors in this town. So
unless you were like somebody like my dad, you didn't
right,
buy art like that.
When your dad purchased that piece at the Tricentennial show, he paid $150 for it. And I was amazed that he bought it. And I was so happy. And it was like, that was the most I'd ever sold a piece of pottery for in my life at the time. I had made more in awards than I had off of selling stuff.
You remember what year that might have been?
You can look up when the Tricentennial celebration was. And so pull up the next one and show a little bit of what I made over and over.
Oh, those are some nice.
So that's just that's the kind of work I do with glaze. That's like a pretty awesome glaze job on that bottom plate. I really like the glaze pouring, dripping, and overlapping, and I like to dip glaze. I like to pour glaze. I don't like brushing it very much, although I do brush it sometimes. But usually if I brush it, it's just like a simple sumi drawing. Are you familiar with sumi painting?
No.
In sumi painting, they try to brush it and brush a flower in one stroke. And then they brush the rest of the flower and all the leaves in one stroke.
I can see that the way the glaze looks.
If they brush a person, they brush it in like 3 strokes to make the person.
I can see it the way it's glazed, yeah.
It's all about the brush stroke. It's the stroke. And I like the raw quality of showing that the glaze is the material of what I'm using. So like when you see the cathedral piece, it shows the malleability of the clay with all those finger marks. And right here, it shows the quality of the spilling of the glaze. And it shows like what you can do with spilling glaze. I mean, it really, to me, that bottom plate really pops. I like that. I mean, I would like to own a plate like that, although I have like 3 pieces in my house that I own of my own, because I do this to make money. I mean, I'm an artist and this is my career. I don't want to collect them. So here's the one I made the most money off of in my life so far. The next one. I sold this next one. Pull up the next one.
Are you on a cell phone right now? It says 12%.
No, I'm not on a cell phone. That's just.
Oh, okay. This one kind of looks like the one you had of the art where you won the award.
Yeah, and that's kind of a repeat of it. And I got $550 for this vase. That's the most I've ever sold a ceramic item for. Before that, it was this other vase. I'll show you this other one. It's bigger, but I sold it for less. I sold it for $500. And the same person purchased it like a year, like 4 months earlier. And they said, well, this is this next one. I always want to give you a little more when I buy one. So they bought this one for $500 and they bought that other one for $550. Guess who bought it? My brother, the Boeing engineer.
You could probably.
I named the price though. I said $500 for both of them, and the second one he said, "I'll give you $550." He bought it like 2 months later. You
could probably make an ornate whiskey container that people.
That's 37 inches high.
Would want to buy.
That's 37 inches tall. So it's a big item. And that thing weighs 70 pounds. The other one weighed about 50 pounds. So when they get that big, when I make them, they're pretty heavy. I didn't make it thin because you make a big, giant, thin thing, it's going to break.
Well, it has to be heavy. It's going to break otherwise.
Yeah, I don't even like thin pottery at all. I don't like any kind of thin pottery. Although I can make it, it's not a problem. But why would you want something that's going to break and then pay money for it? So I'm going to pull up this one. This I made in 2006. It's a urn that is for my.
Wait. I don't see it.
Somehow I pulled up two of them.
This?
There it is. Yeah. That's an urn. It's a lid on the top. And that was for my dead friend, Philip Monroe. He passed in 2006, and I delivered this urn a year later. They kept him in a temporary urn till this one arrived. They gave me plenty of time to take my time to make one. I don't know if you can see it, but let me zoom. It's got a drawing of him on the guitar on the face of it, and it's real.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it does look like there's some kind of imagery.
Yeah, there's an image of him sitting on a stool in a bar playing guitar, and it's got like a socket in the corner with a wire going to it, just to because just it's kind of cubist drawing. It's not even. It's like an abstract drawing, and looks a lot better without a blurry picture. But I just don't have a picture of it that's not blurry. And I made a second urn because if you notice, the base of this one is very narrow. And I was concerned after I made this one first, and I was concerned that what would happen if his urn fell over and broke or somebody broke it, So I made a second urn, and I'll show you the picture of it next. Now, this is the second urn that's more round, wide, and not going to fall over. And I made did a little impressionistic sculpture of him on the top playing guitar. He was a musician. He played guitar in bars, and he was a soloist. And he made one album before he died, and he taught me how to play guitar. So
what was his name?
Philip Monroe, but none of his music's online. And his music has been lost.
I was just trying to think of in the 90s and early 2000s, there would be these guys doing a lot in Alabama. There was a lot of solo guitar player taking over the music for a whole night at a bar. So I was just trying to think if the name rang a bell.
Yeah, that's what he did. He was on the radio once. Like you can see him there with his glasses on and the guitar kind of in the picture. And it's got a lamp over the top. It's a really cool drawing. And each side of it has a different.
What are these things that stick out on the side?
Oh, and on the back of the other vase, the front of the vase on that other one has him on the guitar. On the back of that vase, it's got a big heart because he was a really kind person. He died from schizophrenia.
Are these fingers? What are these things that are sticking out on both?
They're just decorations.
Okay.
They're not really anything supposed to be anything. They're just decorations.
I mean, it looks really. I wish you had a better image of this. It looks really
good.
Yeah,
me too. I don't have a better image.
This one looks really interesting, actually, to be honest.
You like this one better? I like the other. I like that one better.
Both of them.
These are pretty much my two best items I've ever made.
That's what you think.
That's what I think, really. Because I did the most. I spent the reason why I think that is because if you notice, most of this stuff looks like it was quickly made. Because I don't like spending a lot of time on a piece. But these items, I spent like a week creating each one and worked like all day long on that item. So they have like 70, 80 hours into each one, just carefully thinking, what am I going to do? I really thought it out. I really planned it. I really thought out what needed to be, and had to think about the person, and it was my very best friend. In the fourth grade, yeah, that's enough pottery. In the fourth grade, he came to my school in the third grade. We were third graders together, and I wasn't his friend at all. And he was like the outcast of the class. And then in fourth grade, it started in the third grade. This kid was picking on him, and I would play soccer with this kid that was picking on him, and he was always taking the ball from me when we were on the same team and doing weird shit like that. And he was always jealous of me. He's a short kid, that Napoleon complex. Anyway, he kept picking on Phil because he was like the most popular kid in the class, and I had a few friends. I didn't really care about popularity. And in the fourth grade, I stood up for him and punched the kid for bothering Philip. And that kid, I scared the crap out of him when I punched him, because like we were in a private school and we were little kids. Nobody got in a fight and punched each other. I said, you better not bother Phil anymore. And I punched him in the face, and I got away with it. He didn't even tell on me, that I punched him. And he never, ever picked on Phil ever again. Nobody ever picked on Phil ever again in the school, because I did it in front of the whole boys in the boys' dressing room after PE while we were changing during PE. And he never picked on Phil. Nobody ever picked on Phil again. And that school was a little school that went from first grade to from kindergarten to eighth grade.
Yeah.
And I stayed in that school until the eighth grade. And from fourth grade on, we were like two peas in a pod, always hanging out. And throughout high school, I went to a different high school than him, but we were still every weekend, he'd be at my house or I'd be at his house. We did so much terrorizing the neighborhood at 2 a.m. with toilet paper and stuff. Once we were teenagers and could drive, we'd go to a girl's house that we liked and peel out in their front yard and honk the horn at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night and stuff, and leave tread marks in their all over their yard, and then we'd of course roll all the trees first before we did that, and then we did a lot of stupid shit, but nothing harmful. We never damaged anything. We weren't into vandalism, but we had a lot of fun. And in 2006, he was 25 years old. He passed away, committed suicide. He had severe paranoid schizophrenia that developed in 2001.
That's too. What was his age?
He was 25 when he died.
Yeah,
he'd probably had sex one time in his life at that age.
Do you think that contributed to him killing himself or no?
The sex? I think he had sexual delusions, yeah. And he also heard a lot of voices that were really loud telling him to kill himself.
Yeah, that's the age where that illness usually comes out.
Well, no, it came out when he was like 20 in like 2000. No, I mean,
yeah, like in the early 20s is usually when schizophrenia, if you're we
were both born in 79. We were born a month apart, and we had born on the same day, the 23rd. He was September 23rd, and I was October 23rd, and he always said he was older than me. We were blood brothers. We were spit brothers. And boy, did we drink a lot of soda and candy together every afternoon after school. Because, like, in grade school, every freaking day. After he was like 5 blocks from my house, and every freaking day I'd get on my bicycle and drive to Phil's house, or he would get on his bicycle and come to my house. Generally, we went to his house because his parents didn't come home from work till 1 a.m. because they had their own restaurant. They had the the dad was the cook and the mom was the host, and
You know what it
they
was
had a
called?
fancy restaurant because his dad was like a trained professional cook,
Do you know
and
what
they
rest-
had a
Do you know
they
what
had
it
a
was?
place called the Magnolia Cafe in Montgomery, and it was a ritzy, well-to-do, $60-$80 a plate restaurant. They had crab bisque and stuff like that.
Wait,
And
you're from Montgomery?
I was born in Montgomery, yeah. So was Phil. No, Phil was born in New Orleans.
When did you leave Montgomery?
1996 when I went to ASMS. That's why we were at different high schools. I moved to Mobile.
No,
And I was in college. I was in high school with him my freshman year at Catholic High in Montgomery in like 1994. But I got kicked out of Catholic High for smoking pot on campus. And I managed they couldn't prove that I smoked pot, but somebody told on me. Because
That's
I don't know, some
stupid.
little kid told on me just because they were like trying to be a goody two shoes to stop somebody from doing drugs or get drugs off the campus or something. Anyhow, that really sucked, and I really didn't like leaving the school my buddy was in, and I went to like public school in the middle of my sophomore year, but we withdrew from that school. I did not get kicked out. I withdrew. My dad convinced the principal that he didn't have any proof, so he could only that he would just withdraw if he didn't kick me out. And the principal accepted me to withdraw. And I had good grades. I had like only 1 C in like all my history. And my junior year, Dad moved to Mobile. We moved to Mobile. And Dad had planned on moving to Mobile in 1995 when I was a sophomore, when I got caught or told on. And so they told me my dad had planned, well, we're going to make him withdraw so he can go to ASMS when we get to Mobile, because he knew that ASMS was a boarding school for elite students in Alabama. Like the average money they would spend on a student per year was like $1,500 at the time by the state. At ASMS, they spent like $17,000 on every student. $17,000 on every student, because they paid for the meals and everything of the whole boarding school. It was a free public boarding school where everything was free. All the books, all of the food, all of everything.
A friend
all
of
the
mine
lodging.
a friend of mine was a teacher there. You probably know her.
It was a really awesome school. I mean, you got laid there because there was like a dorm full of girls across the street from the boys' dorm, and it was really fucking easy to sneak into the girls' dorm, and like it was just like so much fun. And
I didn't get laid there, but my friend lived down the street from there.
And then, unfortunately, my senior year, the second month of school, they thought I was drunk. I was. And they searched my room and found a jar of seeds in my drawer. Pot seeds. Once again, I withdrew so that I could stay in the alumni, and went to Davidson to fucking graduate. And I had taken so many courses my junior year with like the accelerated program. Like technically when you get out of ASMS, you're like a junior in college.
So how old were you when you left Montgomery?
17, sophomore year.
Do you have family there? Like what do you that city's like
No, junior year. I mean, my junior year, I did summer school at ASMS. The summer camp is what it was to prepare for going there. The summer of 1995, and then in 1996, I started at ASMS, and That's how I got started in ceramics, because they had a whole building for art.
Is that what got you into art?
Yeah, they had a whole building for art with 2 wheels in it,
No,
and
but
all
is
the
that no?
materials I could put, all the materials I wanted.
But
So,
what inspired you to create things?
well, I
And
was already into art,
I'm gonna
and
step away for like about 30 seconds while you talk about that.
all right, I was already into art for like all my grade school years. I'd entered competitions and won state competitions for drawing from the work that I did in school in art class. And when I was a fourth grader, I went to Carver Elementary like 3 days a week after school for like an hour, and went to extracurricular art programs and in the fourth grade. And I won the state competition in the fourth grade for sculpture and drawing and painting, I think, like all three. and then in my sophomore year, where I was at public school after I got kicked out of Catholic high, I did a drawing of the back of the Capitol and entered it into the state competition and got first place in it for drawing my sophomore year. So it was a perfect rendition of the back of the Capitol, and I drew it freehand from a photograph. I didn't even use a ruler. And then junior year, once I got to SMS, I made sure to take art class, but it wasn't art classes necessarily that got me so interested in the wheel. It was that the art teacher there could not throw very well at all. He couldn't throw anything. He just wasn't a potter. He was really a painter. And he just was the teacher there, and they had potter's wheels and clay and a kiln and glaze and everything. Right. And the first time I sat at the wheel, I made a little ashtray that was perfectly round and perfect. And I said, "Oh, this is." I really enjoyed making that, and I got so into it that since I was at the boarding school, you would be at class like 6-7 hours a day, and then curfew to be back in the dorm was like 10 o'clock. Well, generally, I got out of class at around 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then from 4 o'clock until 10 o'clock, every single weekday that I was there. And then I would be in that ceramic studio playing with clay, like all for 6 hours every day of the week, just because I enjoyed it so much and I was so skilled at it. And I could.
If you wouldn't have been, if you hadn't
threw the thinnest stuff I've ever thrown, and I realized after a while, like, no, you don't want to throw thin stuff; it's too fragile. But I would throw paper thin bowls that were, little 8-inch paper thin bowls, because I thought the object at first was to make the fanciest china ever, And my teacher was very, very encouraging. Because every time I would make something, I'd say, "What do you think of this?" He said, like, "Oh, wow. Gosh, I wish I had your skill at the wheel." "Well, Doyle, we know what's going to happen to you. You're going to be a potter. You're not doing math and science." And
you're lucky you got to experience that in high school.
I put in hundreds and hundreds of hours in high school, and there was a limited amount of clay. He said, "Doyle, I can't give you all the clay you want. So I want you to make things up, just smash it up and make another one, So most of the time I would smash it up and make another one. And if he said keep it, he would tell me to keep it.
That's a good way to approach painting as well, is to keep reusing. If you don't like what you're doing, just
keep reusing the canvas
over the canvas. Then you'll have a texture.
Totally. And like, I would push it to the limit. Every day I'd try to throw taller and taller and taller. By the time I left ASMS, I could throw 20 inches. And when I started at college, like I was the freshman in college, I could throw better than the seniors at college. And
that's because you had experience on the wheel.
a lot of experience for like a year, because the year I got kicked out, my senior year, boy, did I bawl when I got kicked out of that class school, because I was so sad. I was like, my life's going to be fucked up now. I got kicked out of ASMS. I got kicked out of Catholic High, and it was both for the same thing, And then so what I did is my parents bought me a wheel that year, my senior year in high school. And I set up a little studio on the back porch of my house. And then later they bought me a used kiln that was always a piece of shit running with problems. But and then when I got to my first freshman year in college, I of course took ceramics as my elective, and I was a physics major. And then when I turned like 19 in college, I developed schizophrenia. I had my first outbreak. And I was hospitalized for like 4 days, and they put me on medication. I was like on Depakote or something. And then, I missed class from that. I missed class from that. And then my sophomore year, I said, fuck this. I don't want to do physics. I'm going to be a potter. And I switched my major my sophomore year of college to ceramics. And I quit taking math and science classes.
What do you think contributed to you having that meltdown?
Head trauma from a snowboarding accident in 2000, when I was 1996. That my freshman year in high school, I had a severe head trauma when I went down the triple black diamond on accident, because I'd never been snowboarding before.
Where was that?
I went down the wrong mountain slope.
My
sister took me snowboarding when I was 17. I went out to Colorado to stay with her, because she lived out there in Denver. And I went snowboarding with her and her boyfriend, and they were so annoyed with me, like smoking all their weed and shit, that she just wanted to be away from me with her boyfriend going down the hill. And they ditched me at the top of the mountain. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know what signs meant or anything. I had no clue what snowboarding was at all. I could barely snowboard or even go 5 feet without falling over.
That's crazy.
And I went down the triple black diamond. It was pretty much like on my butt the whole time. And then at one point, I got up to like 40 miles an hour, and I couldn't stop, and I didn't know what to do. And I finally busted and slammed my head so hard into the ice that it busted my lifetime warranty goggles.
Oh.
And I was passed out in the ice with people jumping over me in the spot I was in.
Did you get rescued?
No. I was laying there for like 30 minutes, knocked out. When I finally got up, I took my snowboard off after that happened and walked the rest of the way down. Went to the cafe because I didn't know where my sister was, and fell asleep with a concussion at the table for 4.5 hours. Which is the worst thing to do when you have a concussion, is go to sleep. And then also when I was 12 years old, my dog slammed my head into the piano when it was pulling me on a leash, and it left a scar on my head where I hit the piano. And also, so those two concussions fucked up my brain. And then when I was 17, I ate so many mushrooms that I was completely out of it for 24 hours.
What year did you have the snowboarding incident?
Same year I did the mushrooms. Like after the snowboarding mushroom, I did the mushrooms. And then when I turned 2 years after 17, I had some sort of 2 years after 17, I had some sort of weird flashback, and I got hospitalized while I was in college for freshman year. And then sophomore year, it came back and it was much worse, and I was hospitalized for a week and a half.
Is the mic picking up me chewing these chips?
Probably, I guess.
But so I have some questions. Or
Okay.
I have some comments. So today I found out that cacao, like chocolate cacao,
Yeah.
so some kind of study is saying that it can reverse cognitive decline in your brain like 30 years. So I already knew it was like a beneficial nutrient, but for somebody like yourself, I'm curious.
Pure chocolate cacao.
Yeah, you can get like you can source like high quality cacao, like organic.
Can I
I
just
think
eat a really good chocolate bar?
yes, but I think if you source the high quality powderized cacao, you'd probably get and put it into like milk
Well, I
or
like hot chocolate.
yeah, yeah. I think if it's a little bit more bitter, but I think that's how you get all the flavonoids. I'm curious how that would help. I'm like
I never
somebody
did do the bee pollen. I don't know where it went. It's somewhere in my house. I
you need to
wanted
get
to
on.
eat that bee pollen. I forgot about it and don't know where it is. But I really think the bee pollen would have helped me too.
Well, you still have that. So you said you bought 2 pounds.
I did. And I don't know where it went. It's somewhere in the house. It's probably in my cabinet somewhere.
Well, it can't be that hard to find.
I think it's above the tea in the cabinet.
You should start that. That'll give you a lot of energy. You might actually start making pottery again.
That would be good. I'm going on a trip this December. I'm going to my friends in Virginia to just let go and get away from home and get out of the same box for a while. I'm going to stay there about 18 days and uh, develop my painting some more because I did my first portrait art I've ever done in my life, and I'm really impressed with myself. I even did a little Matisse Manet style and left a little oddity in the face to make it look interesting. Although I could have done better. I left the nose a little smaller and higher up than it was supposed to be on a baby portrait of my niece who's who's a year old, who's a year old. And I just super love this little painting of her. I did a navy, a forest green background, and she's got this navy blue sweater with this pink and red face, and it's just so the pink and white and red face just pops so well, and the warm colors do really well with it, and I'm just really happy. I enjoyed it so much, and it only took me 50 minutes to paint an 11 by 12 from a sketch that took 30 minutes. So if I can do portraits in an hour and 20 minutes, I need to do more of them. And I'm so satisfied in it with it. I don't even want to put a single brush stroke on it now. It's like, just like my pottery, once I put my name on it, I'm not going to do anything to it. No matter what somebody says, hey, you could fix this here or do that. I'm like, no.
No.
I decide when it's done.
Maybe
Or if it's good or not, too.
maybe you're not supposed to do pottery anymore.
You know, honestly, it's time for me to leave it for a while. And my brother is about to buy a duplex or possibly a multi-bedroom apartment. We're not sure what we're going to find, but we're getting the loan right now. He should have the loan by January. And by March, I should be buying a one-way ticket to France to live with him. And it would take 2.5 years to get my handicap status over there with the rental assistance status and the citizenship I have to complete. I never have completed. But everything I qualify for, and I have all the paperwork for everything. And, I have a long, extended 22 episode history for my schizophrenia. So it's not going to be difficult to prove I'm schizophrenic to the regents over there. And they'll accept me within 6 to 8 months with my disability. It did take up to a year, but luckily it's just like over here. When you apply, that's when the money starts. And when you finally get it, they give you the first lump as a big settlement for what they owe you.
Well, you don't seem schizophrenic right now. Why don't we shift the focus back to something else? So, you know, like my dad, he was a painter for like 30 years, and then he started doing sculptures. So you're almost like doing the reverse. You're making like
Keep talking. I'm going to get some tea.
Like pottery is kind of like a sculpture. Now you're kind of getting into painting.
You think that's a bad idea?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just that the evolution of an artist is to not always do the same thing. Let's check out this painting behind him. He told me he found.
I completed when I completed that portrait, I was really excited. Like I had just made my first piece on the wheel. Now I haven't dug into the painting like I did on the wheel at ASMS right after I started. But I feel like if I start doing some painting, I'm going to get really involved in it and not want to do anything else. And like every waking hour, I'm going to be wanting to paint. Because what was satisfying at first about the pottery was like, oh, I can do this thing that's so hard that nobody can do. I'm like, oh, I have something. You know, I'm good at something. I felt proud of myself.
You're creating an object. I mean, that's kind of exciting.
Creating stuff has always been exciting, and I've always wanted to be to create stuff. Like even as a scientist, I wanted to build bridges and do designs. I always had aspirations to be an architect at times, and I still would love to get into architecture and design buildings. I would be super sweet at that, but it would take a lot of learning to get into architecture and schooling and money and stuff. But painting doesn't cost anything, and so I always knew I wanted to do painting. Like up until this portrait, I've only done like, I don't know, 20 acrylic paintings in my life, dude. And let me pull up the painting. Let's see. I've got a picture of it on this computer.
I'll pull a painting up for you.
Yeah, I want to see one of your paintings. You're a really skilled painter too. You got some cool abstract paintings.
No, I'm not showing that. I'm talking about yours.
Oh, where did it go? It was on my computer.
Dude, I was a good painter before I ever did music.
Okay, I've got it on Facebook in my messages.
I pretty much mastered like shading and paint when I was like in middle school. I don't know how to do that now though. By the way, what kind of?
Hold on. Let me find this painting of my niece. I know I sent it to so many people on Facebook. It's in here somewhere. Just got to download it and send it.
I was a better painter than when I was a kid than I am now.
Oh, that can't be true.
Nope. Now it's more deliberate and it's different.
Okay, coming up on the painting. I'm coming up on my painting in Faith's messages. There it is. Download. All right. Let me push it into the studio. Present image. Okay. Downloads.
All right, give me just a second.
Nope, that's not the one.
I gotta use the bathroom for a second. Hey, are you friends with Zach?
Zach DePolo?
Yeah. You don't have to answer that. No, let's not talk about anyone else.
Why didn't it download it?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
That's weird. It's not downloading it. for some reason.
It'd be interesting if my channel just turned into like art talk with with Whiskey Ace. Like, who else could we get on here?
Well,
I was trying to encourage Ryan to do that, and he was like anti.
that is so bizarre. It's not going to downloads.
I'll be right
Something's
back.
wrong.
1 second. I'm gonna pee real quick.
Something is fucking wrong for it to not do that. Oh, it's only showing custom files. There it is. I'm going to grab a fresh pack of cigarettes. They're right here. So this is the portrait. Pull up the portrait and show it.
I just had the realization that I was supposed to be uploading an album that I mastered, and I just wanted to put that in this live stream.
I'm supposed to be glazing that umbrella holder for Thanksgiving, so I can fire it today.
What are we looking
There's
at
the
here?
portrait. That's my niece. That's the
That's
first
really-
portrait. That's the first portrait I've ever done.
It looks just like him.
Oh, if you see the picture, it really just resembles her, except the nose is wrong. And I really like the quirky kind of nose being off. It's right in the center, and it's just kind of really Manet kind of style where he leaves it off a little bit.
I saw the photo, so yeah, it looks like her.
Let me see. I can text you on Facebook the photo of her picture out of my phone and then pull it up on the computer. Let me show the picture that it came from. So it's got the same navy blue sweater she has on, but she's actually riding a carousel. She's riding a horse in a carousel. You don't see much of it in the photo, but you can see. So I changed. I didn't want to do the background in the photo. It just wouldn't have looked right. So close this. Open your text box up.
Why aren't you? What are you doing? You're not putting it in the same chat.
No, I can't because it's on my phone data. It's not in my computer.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, it's not sending. It's pausing on. Oh, it's on airplane mode. Let me turn that off. There we go. It's sent. Should pull up in a second. What do you think of that? I think it's pretty good for a first time ever portrait. I don't know if it'll ever get any better. My skills will ever get any better. I'm so old. Dang, why isn't it doing it? Let me send it again.
I mean, I don't understand why you don't just make abstract art. Yeah, it looks like her.
Yeah, it's not a perfect rendition, but it's an impression. It's an impressionism rendition, and the object is get the light and the form right. And then I also left it in a Manet style where it allows, all the different. Where it not all is in Manet uses vibrant colors so that you can show the picture now. It shows vibrant colors and he always leaves something a little bit off to kind of make it quirky and attention grabbing. And of course, my brother is a little bit kind of the snootiest of the family because he's rich and he works for Boeing. And
yeah, it looks like her, dude. You got it. You got it.
The little chubby cheeks and the smile with the tongue showing and the two teeth. And the two teeth are a little too big in the picture, but I really like it. That's the only teeth she's got. Or she
I
might
think
have
you
some
should.
bottom teeth. You can't tell.
What? How about those paintings that George Bush did of like the bathtub or whatever? Why don't you do something weird like that?
I don't know. What I want to do next is like a psychedelic. I was hoping I could get a picture of you with your goatee that you've shaved off recently and do like a psychedelic rendition of it.
My goatee. I don't have a goatee. I have a beard.
Well, I think it was. I guess it was a beard.
What are you talking
Maybe.
about?
Yeah, that's right. You didn't shave it off. And then here's a
Oh,
painting that I did in like
oh,
2005.
it looks like that because I'm. That's how old I am. See, this is all white.
Yeah, I want to do a like a psychedelic one of you that you could maybe use for like a profile pic. Look at that.
Yeah, that kind of looks like.
That's that's a bull, red titties, and a white vagina. I don't know if you can see it.
I don't see that. I see a horse face right here. But
There's a white vagina in the bottom and the middle, kind of, and then it's got big red titties that you can kind of see are stretched out over the whole thing.
I
And
don't
then it's
know.
got the horns and the eyes
Maybe
of a
maybe
bull.
yeah, that's a little vulgar for this stream, but it reminds me of some of the stuff I was doing when I was experimenting with acrylics. So what I would say to you is you should just do like 20 of those, 10 of them. Not and then you'll get better and better. I also see a dog, by the way.
I'm really liking going into painting photographs of places like uh, landscapes, and
I see a face. I don't see this. I don't see the porno. I see a dog or like a wolf, two eyes.
so I'm gonna pull up the recent paintings I've been doing that I have in my phone and send them in. One of them's kind of blurry, and yeah, these are three more paintings, two more paintings. Let me pull them up. So these are kind of off photos. My camera does not take good photos on my old Galaxy.
The one with the back the one with the porch looks like a painting that George Bush did.
Let me see here. Downloads. All files. So I'll pull up. This is the cabin that my brother has in North Carolina. It's a landscape I did in the forest. And here is my mother's back porch view from the dining room table, from the table.
That looks like my sister's patio as well.
So I'm like trying to get the color right and the light right. It's impressionism's all about getting the lighting right, not necessarily getting the colors perfectly on, but bright colors, color effect, light effects, and like the form, and leaving the paint, leaving this texture of the paint.
I mean, I like this one. I don't know. The subject matter is kind of like what do you?
Well, it's mom's back porch, which is just like kind of like it's like homey to me.
No, it's cool. I like this one.
It's a place that I'm really fond of, and it means a lot to my family members. And I was specially painting it for my mother because she took care of some insurance stuff for me. I wanted to do something in return. So like right now I've got about 15 photographs that I want to paint that I've been trying to stock up on subject matter so that I have, unlimited things that I like to want to paint, because I don't want to just invent paintings like the one you saw with the bull and the tits and all that stuff. I don't want to invent paintings like that. I want to have subject matter that means something, like my dog.
That one looks like a dog to me.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's not really the best painting.
That one looked like a dog, but or a bull or something. But I don't like to. Yeah, I don't like to paint from an image. I like to create.
I don't have any problem painting from an image. It's not about being able to paint without an image. It's not about my painting skill. It's about the finished product and what I'm actually painting. It's not at all going to be a photograph. I mean, if you look at if you compare the baby picture to the actual painting, it just doesn't even have the same background.
I don't like doing that. I'm just talking me, dude.
Oh, I didn't know if you meant like it's like, lame or something.
No, I'm saying I don't paint. When I paint, I don't do it from that. I don't.
Well, you do a lot of stuff without anything in front of you that's like color fields and working with color and working with shapes and not necessarily any kind of realism at all. So your work's a lot more like Mondrian or Pollock.
Yeah, if you're trying to,
I'm going for like
something. You need to look
like if you look at this picture closely, look at how the floor does not line up at the same angle as the bench does.
Yeah,
that's my Matisse.
The geometry's off, but it makes sense.
It's purposefully off.
The door is off, by the way. That screen door is off, but it doesn't matter.
It's purposely like that. It's purposely like that to show more composition than just what I was looking at. You see what I mean? Even like it makes you wander around the painting trying to fix it in your brain. No, if I made it look exactly like the photo, your eye wouldn't wander around it to try to fix it.
It doesn't.
But when you have it just slightly off and different, a little bit more unique, and the angles of things and the measurements of things kind of off, it draws you into it. And that was what Manet was always trying to do. And I'm really fond of Manet. It's like one of my favorite painters. That and Monet.
The couch on the right is a different perspective than the rocking chair on the left, by the way.
Yes, and the couch on the right is totally different perspective than the floor lines. Look at the floor lines in the couch. Totally different.
Mm.
And you don't really notice it until you pick it up and you're like, oh, he must have did that on purpose. Like now the baby photo, you can't really tell I messed up the nose on purpose, but I did. I messed up the nose on purpose.
Why can't you mess it up on accident?
Messing it up on accident would be kind of dull. And it would just be probably look childish or look like an error look more like an error. Whereas like in the baby picture, you can't really tell it's an error until you look at the photo.
I mean, the painting behind you perspective is all kinds of messed up.
Oh yeah, it's the same Manet style, the painting behind me. Like, see, look at it. Look how the view of it is off from the tree laying on the ground and the grass. See, the tree laying on the ground and the grass is off. The grass is off from the view of the Parthenon. And the floor and the way the flooring kind of opens up at you, those lines are wrong.
Yeah, the building and the floor are like different perspectives.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, the building and the floor are different perspectives. Cool, and so is the grass. And it's like, it makes it way more interesting to look at than if it was painted properly.
You said you found that by a dumpster?
I found it on the street in the trash pile to be picked up. Actually, one of my friends did. And she collects stuff off the street all the time. And she said, Doyle, I can't put this in my camper. It won't fit. I want you to have it. And I said, oh, wow, that's beautiful. Oh, look, it's real paint, And I was like, wow, it's not a print.
Really, it's really cool. It looks like a dolly almost.
So it does. We immediately looked up the name on it, and it's a completely unnamed. unfindable name online. So it was just some guy down the street that liked to paint.
I'll be curious to see their other art.
I don't know how to find any of it.
No, I know. I just mean, like, they had to have done other work. They didn't just get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the perspective's all warped. Like that thing you called a tree that looks like a chasm in the ground is way off from the building above it.
That about does it for my good art photos. I've got a crap load of pottery photos, but I've showed some of the best ones already. I could pull up student work that I've told people to do. There's still a lot of pottery to show, but let's show one more piece of pottery. This is one called El Toro, and it's a little bit spooky, but it's really kind of powerful piece.
Oh yeah, that
it's also about 37 inches high, and it has a 14-inch lid. That's a lid on top.
Yeah, this one's really good.
It's very Picasso-esque.
I can see that.
The whole eye with the water wave on the left, and the separation from the wave and the eye, and the horns of the horns, you know. It's got the horns of the gazelle and like ears. It's like a gazelle almost.
Yeah, this might be one of your best ones.
It's still for sale. That one's for sale for $1,200. I got it on Facebook Marketplace. People look at it all the time, but nobody ever bids on it. I did have somebody ask me how much I would take for it if I could take a little less. I said, "No, I'm firm on $1,200."
That's a lid on the top.
That's a lid on top. Yeah, it comes off. It fits very snugly. Well done lid. You could probably put, I don't know, 5 gallons in it. It's a 5-gallon container.
So there's painting websites where you can like sell paintings. I wonder if there's a marketplace you could put your pottery like this.
You know, that piece is displayed at my mom's house, and she would be really sad if I sold it.
Well, you have it on Facebook, so.
Yeah, but if I did sell it and I said they're going to give me $1,200, she'd say, "Oh, take it, give it to them."
Yeah, but
get the money, Doyle.
On those paintings,
make another one.
On those marketplaces for paintings, people are getting like $8,000, and it's unlimited. So,
well, what do you think I should price this one as? What would be a good price? It's 37 inches and weighs 40 pounds.
How long did it take to make?
Probably 4 hours.
I think it's okay then. If you could make another one that's similar.
It's from about 2008, so it's pretty old, but it's in really good condition. No cracks, no chips, no nothing. The dog hasn't knocked it over yet.
Yeah,
but where she has it positioned, the dog could knock it over someday. Idiot dog. By the way, the one that I won all those awards, it broke the center vase. The dog knocked it out. Well, so she still has the bottom piece with a fern in the middle of it.
Well, how do you think we should wrap up this live stream? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, schizophrenia sucks, but I'm not violent. I'm pretty nice guy after all. I keep shit to myself, you know.
That's not a good way to wrap up the live stream, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm a little embarrassed I even talked about it.
You don't need to keep going back to that.
Yeah.
It's not
shit I deal with.
But on that tip, I'm releasing an album from a guy that has schizophrenia out of Australia, by the way. So I guess there's that. Apparently.
Well, the whiskey was a little hot, but worth the money.
Oh, it's not really worth them. It was interesting.
And the pottery's cheap. Come get a cup for $5.
Oh, you could get a set from him for a good deal, actually.
Yeah, you can deck out your house, your kitchen table for like with all the stuff you could possibly imagine for $250. Have cups and bowls and plates and coffee mugs and cereal bowls and serving bowls and a casserole and a teapot. I'll make all that for your table for $250.
Do you want to
Probably set of 4 or
you want to
something.
message me that link to your website and I'll drop it in there?
Sure. I'm going to send it in the chat.
Yeah, do that. Put it in the chat. That way it stays
in the chat.
It'll always be in the chat then.
Oh, I don't want to do connect. I'm going to send it to you in Facebook. You'll have to figure it out.
I can just put it in the chat.
It's just DoylePottery.com. One word.
That's easy, but I don't want
Don't forget 2 T's.
Just type it for me so I can copy it. I don't want to.
So you don't have to type it?
I know how to spell that. I just don't want to.
All right. Let me send it to you. I'll put the www also.
Just drop the link, dude. There you go.
There's the link. DoylePottery.com.
All right. I'll put it in the chat.
Make sure it's functioning right. I've got art materials. I've got classes. I've got music for sale. Johnny's music for sale. And the Whiskey Aces music for sale is on the site.
What do you mean for sale?
Page. What's that?
Oh, you said it was for sale. That's why I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, your art is for sale on Bandcamp. I've got direct links to each song.
Oh, gotcha.
That you have on Bandcamp. And I've got some literary art of just a poem little short story that my son wrote that's really cool. I've got a supply store. I've got kiln rental space that's worth it from New Orleans all the way to Pensacola because it's such a good deal for the size of the kiln. You can't beat it. And I allow apprentices if you don't want to pay for materials and you don't want to take classes. I'll teach you as an apprentice. But if you're going to be an apprentice, you got to put in at least 8 hours a week, weekly.
I don't think anyone that sees this is gonna. Well, actually, I'll take that back.
If they're ever in Mobile, they might stop by for a class or.
That's true, but yeah, who knows?
I don't ship pottery. You got to come pick it up. I don't ship pottery. There's no way I'm going to ship some pottery and pack it and all that stuff. I'm not interested.
You need to ship me that little tea candle holder.
The tea candle holder? No. No. If you want another pottery picture, I can send you something better than that.
No, I'm saying you need to ship me that. I'm just.
Oh yeah, I'll ship you that. It's small.
He's not going to ship me something.
Yeah, painting, and that'll pay for the shipping.
He's not going to ship you guys like the other stuff because it will break essentially.
Essentially, yeah, or it'll be too large to ship or way too much. If you want a $250 dish set, that's going to weigh all those dishes at the same time. It's going to weigh 80 pounds. You're going to have to ship it freight almost. You can't put it all in one box, and it's going to be, $300 shipping.
That might be $200 shipping at least. Yeah,
at least $200 shipping to ship a 4-piece dinner set. Yeah, you want cups, bowls, plates, serving bowl, maybe 2 of them. Right.
Well, hey Doyle, it was good to catch up with you tonight. As usual.
You working tomorrow?
Yeah, man, of course.
Get to it.
I don't talk about that on here. I got
to get to work right after I get off of here. I've still got to glaze that umbrella holder, or it's not going to be ready for Thanksgiving. At this point, it's ready for leftover day, but I'm going to the same place for leftover day. It's for my aunt.
I need to release an album on here as soon as I get off of here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was good having you on here. This is an interesting conversation. I'm gonna end the stream in just a second, but yeah, thanks to anyone that decided to join us.
This is probably the longest stream ever. I really appreciate it, Johnny. I enjoyed it. I love showing my art and bragging about my art skills. It's fun.
I'm glad that you told us about some of your history. Um, so yeah, that was great. But
I
yeah.
gave pretty much my whole education rundown.
No, that was cool, man.
Starting with extracurricular art classes in the 4th grade, and my mom put a paintbrush in my hand when I was a 3-year-old.
And
My mother has never in my life said she didn't like my art ever, no matter what I made. I don't care if it looks wonky or whatever. She says, "Oh, that's great." So it was super encouragement. My whole life has been my mother, and she's my number one. She looks after me like a little child still, which is a little disappointing at 46, but I love her to death, and I'm going to miss her when she goes.
Mothers have that sort of unrealistic kind of like positivity towards you.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
She is most proud of my art for sure. And she's super excited about this portrait like I am. Like when I did that portrait, the next day I was just like, on cloud 9, just showing anybody I can. Look what I did. I can't believe I did it myself. I'm so surprised. And I did it in 50 minutes. I thought it was going to take 4 hours.
No, yeah, the more you do it, the better you'll get at these things. That's why when you showed the one that was real abstract, you started.
Now, a person I need to finish with is my daughter, Eva Hickman. She is master level painter and master level drawing, extreme master, like exquisite drawings. Her drawings of a face, or whether from a photograph or just looking at you, it's so perfect. You can see the hairs on their face, on their head. When she paints, it's the exact same way. With her anime on an iPad, I gave her a 12-inch iPad when she was like 15. The best top of the line $2,000 iPad with special $250 pen. And ever since, she still has that same iPad and does anime with it. Her anime looks like it came straight out of a comic book, and it's just off the top of her head. And she recently did a painting, was commissioned for a painting for $400. And as soon as she landed it and completed it, a bunch of people ordered, and she's got back orders. So she decided to take 1 day less of work a week. And now every Friday she's working in art, and I'm so excited about that because she's 22. She's got a career of her own already, and she's getting a lot more for her time in art than I have ever had so far. Mostly in my pottery career, I've made $20 to $30 an hour. Whereas she's already into the, $70, $80 an hour artwork. And
well, you can't really compare yourself to that, dude. Because
well, I can because for me it's been a tough career in Mobile making pottery with the sales I've had. So for me, it's tough to sell over 300 in a month. But when I'm working and I'm producing, I sell about $300 worth of pots a month and teach about $300 a month, but that's not my dependent income. I've got other income. But she is just amazing, and with just 4 days a month, she'll make another $400 a month. And when I work in clay, if I work for a week straight and then say do 5 hours a day for 7 days, do 35 hours of pottery, it might take 6 months to sell that much pottery. So sometimes. So it's not always 300 a month. But
I mean,
usually what keeps me going is my patrons, because whenever I open a kiln full of my work, I'm really quick to show everybody that I know that's ever bought anything that I have contact with, even in emails and everything. And oftentimes, as soon as I open the kiln, the day that I open the kiln, they purchase stuff. And the kiln is so big, it's really more difficult to get more than one firing a week. And it's a 5-day process to fire one load. And that's at full speed, you know. So you can't fire over 6 firings in a month, but I've never really run it more than 3 firings a month. But just one firing will fit 250 coffee mugs. And I can throw 48 coffee mugs an hour. That's pretty good.
Well, you got to start shipping them. I'm
not gonna ship them.
I'm gonna end it there, Doyle. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say that has nothing to do with pottery?
You know, God deserves all the glory, because none of this is possible at all without him.
That's a good ending. All right, thanks. Nice having you tonight. Good talking to you, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Bye.